Greetings to you and welcome to this episode of Greetings to you and welcome to this episode of Grace Podcast. Sorry about that. It seems though I didn't have all of my equipment taken care of accordingly. So it's great to have you today. It's great to be part of your day. I'm Timothy Muse, creator of Grace Life Coaching, and I will be your host today for this episode of Grace Podcast. If you're listening to us on the platform side, Spotify, iHeartRadio, I would certainly encourage you to follow us. Give us a rating and review so that those who are seeking something may be able to take advantage of what we're offering. If you're listening on the YouTube side, welcome. Please subscribe to the channel. Please subscribe to the work that we're doing, and then share it out there. Share it out there on your Facebooks, Instagram, X, whatever platform you're using. Please tag me in it. I'd love to see where you're at. I'd love to see where you're going. I'd love to see what work you're doing. It would be a joy to be able to come alongside you. Part of the mission of Grace Life Coaching and part of my mission, in doing the podcast is to help you be the best you, is to help you be the best part of you that you can be, to be the best person, the best incarnation of the you. You were created for the sake of this world. The world is better because you're in it. And so when you become the best version of you, that helps the world and that helps you. Now, that is not to say, and I've said this before, but I want to make sure that I'm clear, that is not to say that where I believe you to be is bad. That is absolutely not correct. We can be so polarizing in our language and our thinking to believe that, if I'm not at my best, I'm not good. You could be great. But you always want to try to be better. You always want to try to strive to fill an area or seek out something. I mean, if you look at the greats in the world, if you look at the great athletes or the great speakers or the great what have you, they're always practicing. They're always investing. I had the opportunity a long time ago when I lived in Iowa to go to the first day of what was then the John Deere Classic. I was a golf tournament. And I walked around for the day. I really didn't have much money or much responsibility, but I went to the practice tee, and there were these golfers who were going to be teeing off. They were going to go out. They were going to play and compete at the highest level, and yet here they are hitting golf ball after golf ball after golf ball after golf ball, thousands of golf balls a day, in order to stay at that peak level, in order to be better, in order to get that one advantage, that one little piece. So when we stop thinking that we can advance or grow in some area, when we think that we have reached the pinnacle, then that's where we need to keep pushing forward, because we are not completely at our best yet. We want to keep working in order to get to our best, in order to get to the point where we are where we want to be. That's the whole point. That's the hustle. That's what we want. That's what we're striving for. So thanks for coming out today. Thanks for being part of this. Thanks for working on you. And not only am I impressed with that, because in this world, it's hard enough to find time to just dwell, but that we're investing in ourselves, that you're taking time to invest in yourself. That's awesome. That's incredible. I'm thankful for being part of that. I'm thankful for that you're using whatever time you're doing today, that you're inviting me into that. So thank you very much. I really do appreciate that. And I really do want to honor that. I want to honor that by making sure that what I'm offering is worthy. So today, in this time, and if you want to reach out to me, directly, gracelifecoaching.com, that is the website. I'd love to hear from you. I'd love to get some feedback. If you want to do some coaching or you just want to reach out to me, communicate, what have you, gracelifecoaching.com. That's the website. I'd love to hear from you. I'd love to be part of that work with you, whatever it is you want to do. If you want to do some coaching, if you really want to strive, then hey, reach out to me. If we can find a common language, we can work together. And that's the joy of being human. So another part I want to talk about being human today, and that's really the focus of where I want to go, is I want to tell you now, despite what the world may say, despite what everybody around you, or maybe even your thinking might say, I just want to tell you, and if this may come as a shock to you, and if it does, you might want to hold on to something. You are not perfect. And you are not, okay, so you are not perfect. Let's take a breath there. You're not perfect. I'm not perfect. But here's the big thing. Are you ready? You're not meant to be. You're not meant to be perfect. You are not meant to be perfect. You were never built to be perfect. You are not supposed to be perfect. You're human. And humans are imperfect, very imperfect. Nobody's perfect. Nobody gets it right all the time. You're going to make mistakes. We all make mistakes. We all say the wrong things. We all do the wrong things. We all fall down. We all get hurt. We all cause pain. Okay? Nobody is perfect. You are not supposed to be perfect. You are not meant to be perfect. You are not designed to be perfect. You are designed to be human, which means that perfection is not part of the equation. Okay? It really isn't. Perfection is not part of the equation. Now, we live in a world, in a system that requires perfection, that demands perfection. We are demanded perfection in our workplace. We are demanded perfection in our relationships. We are demanded perfection in our health and our beauty and our looks. We are demanded perfection. Perfect hair, perfect teeth, perfect eyes, perfect skin. And we're sold this. We're sold this. I mean, every piece of advertising that's out there, the main key in that advertising is to do two things. One, tell you that you're not perfect. And two, sell you something that'll make you perfect. I mean, that's what advertising is all about. Advertising is say, look, you're not perfect because you don't have this thing, but you will be perfect if you have this thing. Be it a car or a skin cream or a pair of shoes or a watch or a house or whatever. Perfect. We are fed this narrative over and over that we are supposed to be perfect. And that the goal in life is to be perfect. That is a lie. Now, are we to be better? Of course. Do we want to be better? Of course. Do we strive to be better? Of course. But we do that knowing that we're never going to be perfect. Okay? We do that knowing that we're never going to be perfect. Getting up every day, facing life every day, part of the striving, part of the reality of facing life every day is that it is going to hurt. We're going to get it wrong. We're going to get it. We're going to break. We're going to say the wrong thing. We're going to do the wrong thing. We're going to think the wrong thing. We're going to make a mistake. We're going to fall down. That is what it means to be human. It just is. That is what it means to be human. And so it's not about striving to be perfect. Don't do that. You're going to waste your time. It's about learning how to be the best human you can be. And one of the ways of doing that is preparing for and acknowledging that you're going to fall down, that you're going to hurt, that you're going to say the wrong things, that you're going to do the wrong things. When we acknowledge that, then it helps us to be able to live this beautiful, wonderful, complicated, messy, smelly human life. You know, two of my favorite historical characters, and I've said this before, and I'll probably say it again, so if you've listened to me long enough, then you'll probably be able to answer the question. Abraham Lincoln and Harry Houdini. Now, I know you're probably okay. So they both have something in common that attracts me to them. Now, far more for Lincoln. Lincoln was a thinker. His speeches, his thought processes, a visionary, but also a flawed visionary, which I really appreciate. But Lincoln knew that when he signed the Emancipation Proclamation, that when he fought to abolish slavery, he was going to divide the country. He knew that his actions were going to cause a struggle, and yet he didn't run from the struggle. He prepared for it. He didn't run from the struggle, he prepared for it. He prepared for the struggle, and the struggle came to be. We have what's called the Civil War, but we also don't have slavery in the United States. Slavery in the United States was abolished in the 1800s because of the Civil War. Because of what Lincoln, now not just Lincoln, of course, there was a lot of people in there, but Lincoln's decisions, he knew that he was going to divide the country. He knew that people were going to hurt and be angry, but he did it anyway. Not because he wanted to, but because he saw that it was right. Now, how do I see that in human terms, in our daily life? How do I apply that to me? In the fact that I know that I'm going to mess up today. I know that I'm going to mess up tomorrow. I'm probably going to say the same thing, the wrong thing to my family. I might say the wrong thing to a friend. I know that I'm not always going to get it right. Now, I could not do anything. I could stay in bed and just say, well, if I'm going to get it wrong today, then I'm just going to stay in bed. Or I can engage life as a human being knowing that it's going to be smelly and messy and I'm going to do the wrong thing. But I know that. so I can be prepared for it. That's with Houdini. I mean, the other thing about Houdini, one of Houdini's magic tricks, somehow he could manipulate his abdominal muscle so that he could take a massive strike to the stomach and not be injured. And actually, that's what ultimately caused his demise, is he was preparing for the trick and somebody punched him in the stomach before he was ready and it ruptured his appendix. However, Houdini knew that he was going to get punched in the stomach. Okay? He wasn't avoiding the strike. He was preparing for it. Okay? He was preparing to be hit. Now, did it hurt? I would imagine it probably was a little bit uncomfortable. Nobody wants to get punched in the stomach. However, he was prepared for the strike. And that is the key, is that he was prepared to get punched in the stomach versus not being prepared, versus running away from it. And that's where we engage life. And that's the whole point. If we know, my brothers and sisters, my friends, if we know that we are not perfect, if we know that we are going to make mistakes, that we're going to trip up, well, then we can stay in bed and avoid them, or we can prepare and we can engage life to the fullest of our capability. Not intentional. It's not like, oh, I know I'm going to make a mistake today, so I might as well intentionally go out and do it. That's not the point. But if we're prepared for it, if we prepare ourselves for this reality, then what we can do is we can live to the fullest by being prepared, by being ready to go. And there's a couple things I want to talk about in being prepared. Once we have this awareness, okay, that we're not perfect, then we can show ourselves a little bit of self-compassion, okay? Now, we show compassion to others on a great level, a great deal. But we don't necessarily show ourselves that much compassion. So if we know that we're not perfect, if we know that we're going to get it wrong, when we get it wrong, which we will, whether we say something wrong, do something wrong, whether we fall down, trip, break something, burn something, what have you, well, then when we get it wrong, first thing we can do is say, have a little bit of self-compassion. I am human. And as a human, I am going to make mistakes. I'm going to get it wrong. I'm not going to get it right all the time. I'm human. I'm human. Hey, everybody, I'm human. I'm human, and being human means I'm going to screw it up. And I screwed it up. And so that's just where I'm at. Self-compassion. Now, we certainly, again, we want to make sure that we're holding ourselves to some accountability. We don't want to say, oh, well, I'm just going to go out and screw up because I'm going to screw up. No. We're going to strive, again, to be the best we can be, because that's what we want to do. We want to strive to be the best we can be in the world. That's the goal. That's the work. However, as we strive to be the best that we can be, we will mess up. We will screw up. We will get it wrong. And we have to be okay with that. We have to learn to have some self-compassion. Because what happens is, if we think that we're supposed to be perfect, even though we know that we're not perfect, and then we make a mistake or we say the wrong thing, then we get all hitched up and bound up and we overthink it and we ruminate over it, and it just takes time. Okay, you know what? I can think about it, but showing myself a little bit of self-compassion will allow me to process it, identify it, rework it, and move on. Move on to the next step. I don't have to chew myself up over it. I can excuse myself. I can give myself grace. Okay? Self-compassion is the first thing that will really help us. The second thing is to just breathe. Just breathe. I mean, just bring your body into a sense of balance, into a sense of normalcy. Just breathe it out. Yeah, you're going to make mistakes. Hey, welcome to it. Just breathe. Just give yourself the chance to love yourself, have compassion, breathe it in, and do a little bit of examination. Okay, what was it? I said that thing. That came out of my mouth. Why did it come out of my mouth? It came out of my mouth because that person was really stepping on my last nerve, because I'm tired or I'm upset or what have you. Okay, now I can begin to see where that impact is. See, if I don't have any self-compassion, if I just beat myself because I'm supposed to be perfect, then when I'm not perfect, I'm not giving myself the chance to examine, to understand. So what I do when I take that breath and have that compassion and say, I want to be better in that circumstance the next time. Not perfect, but better. Then I get a chance to examine it, and I get a chance to step back and breathe and say, okay, what is it about that? What is it that happened there? What happened there that caused this? All right. examination, learning. But again, out of self-compassion. I love you. You're human. I'm with you. You're human. You're not going to be perfect. You're human. So let's love this together and figure out why we are where we are. That's a very beautiful thing. And then get up. Get up and move. Don't allow your imperfection to cripple you. Many people do that. Many people do that. They'll allow their imperfection to cripple them, which will justify, bad behavior, addictions, drugs, food, shopping, pornography, whatever. I'm not perfect. I'll never be perfect. So I might as well just sit here and do nothing. No. You're not perfect and you'll never be perfect, but that doesn't give you the right to sit there and do nothing. That gives you the responsibility to get up and move and try harder. And try harder. Out of love, out of grace. Have that love, have that grace, but try harder. Try harder to be the person that you want to be that better, to be that stronger, that grace-filled. So you're not perfect. Okay? I love you. I thank you for listening. I don't want you to run away, but I'm telling you this, you're not perfect. You're not perfect. You're never going to be perfect. Got it? Okay? You're not perfect. You're never going to be perfect. You're human. Welcome to being human. Human is imperfect. We are imperfect beings. I know I'm saying this a lot, and for some of you, you're like, yeah, I get it. And for others, we need to have this pounded into our heads. We're not perfect. We're never meant to be perfect. You're going to fall down. You're going to make mistakes. You're going to say the wrong thing. You're going to do the wrong thing. You're going to walk the wrong way. You're going to cause hurt, whether you try not to or not. It's just going to happen. It's what it means to love and be in relationship. It's what it means to live in this world. But we learn. We grow. We move on. We live. This is what life is. Life is a series of learning who we are and trying to do better, trying to be the best that we can be. So show yourself some self-compassion. We have a great capacity of having compassion for others. Have that compassion for yourself. Show yourself some self-compassion. Self-compassion, breathe. Just learn from it. Dwell with it. Breathe into it. Learn from it. Learn where it can go. And then get up and get moving. Because sitting still, it's just going to allow you to ruminate and grow and think and then believe that you're supposed to be more perfect, and you're not. My friends, that's what I got for you for today. So I hope this is helpful. I really do. I hope this gives you some ability to dwell with your imperfections, with your humanity. As always, if you love this, if this is really helpful, then share it out there. Tag me in it. I'd love to see where you're at. Follow us on the platforms. If you're listening to us on YouTube, then please subscribe to the channel. Share it out there. Get out there on your Facebook or your Instagram. Share it. I really would. It'd be an honor. It'd be a privilege for me to know that you're sharing this stuff out there and you're showing it to others and helping others to be the best they can be. Because here at Grace Life Coaching, we want you to be the best you.